Here are my top 5 running back prospects coming into the NFL. Number 1, no surprise, Bijon Robinson. The hype around Bijan is warranted. He had an extremely productive career at Texas, and he impressed right away as a freshman as one of the most efficient running backs in the nation. And he continued that dominance throughout his 3-year college career. This past season, he was number 1 in yards after contact per attempt among all Power 5 running backs, and that was good for 8th best since 2014. He was number 1 in missed tackles forced per attempt. He was making a dude miss on 40% of his attempts last year. And by the way, among 779 running backs with 150 or more carries since 2014, Bijan has the 6th best and 7th best seasons in that category. And then what separates him even more is the fact that he's a pretty damn good receiver out of the backfield. Like, he's not just capable, he's good. 1.52, 1.36 yards per route run each of the last 2 seasons with volume. That's what you want to see. He's an every down bell cow. And as far as landing spot for his fantasy football value, it does not matter where he lands. He's going to get volume and he's going to be an elite fantasy running back. Expect him to go in the first round of the NFL draft. That draft capital is just going to be the cherry on top for his fantasy value. Coming in at number 2 is Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs has a chance to be special in the NFL, mainly because he's a baller coming out of the backfield as a receiver. Now, he is coming in a little bit undersized at 5'9" and 199 pounds, so he's gonna have to be a little bit of an outlier if he's going to be a high-level fantasy contributor. So don't expect him to be a workhorse. 15 to 18 touches with efficiency, with a big portion of that coming in the receiving game, is perfectly fine given his skill set. He's solid in the run game, definitely above average. His speed and acceleration are definitely 2 of his biggest selling points. He ran a damn 4.36 at the combine, so you know he has that speed and he has the ability to make guys miss in the open field. But the real bread and butter for Gibbs is going to be in the receiving game. His hands, his route running ability, and once he gets the ball in the open field, look out. 1.83 yards per route run in 2022, 3.03 yards per route run in 2021, and 3.24 yards per route run as a freshman? Are you kidding me? Those are bonkers numbers for a running back, especially as a freshman, as a sophomore, against the best competition in the Power 5. That 2020 and 2021 season, those 2 seasons were the 7th best and 2nd best since 2014 in yards per route run among hundreds of qualifying running backs. He got the juice.
You got the juice now, man.
Now, Gibbs has a chance to go in the first round, most likely a 2nd round pick, but day 2 draft capital, I'll take it. Give me the Chiefs. All right, coming in at number 3 is Zach Charbonnet. So Bijan is going to be special. Jameer Gibbs has a chance to be special. I think that's where it ends. Now, Charbonnet is a very good runner, and UCLA trusted him in the receiving game. But at the next level, I'm not sure NFL teams will trust him in the same capacity. He's not really a route runner. I would assume that he'll be used mostly on dump-offs and screens. He also wasn't really efficient in the receiving game either. He only went over 1 yard per route run in 1 of his 4 seasons, and it wasn't by much. I think Charbonnet is going to make his money in the run game. He's a big back, he knows how to avoid contact, and he knows how to make guys miss. And those are 3 very good attributes for running back coming into the NFL. 4.53 at the combine, so not blazing fast, but not slow either. But he's faster once he hits the open field rather than him hitting the hole fast. I think that's one thing he could potentially get better at to take his game to the next level. In 2022, he was amazing after contact. Among 400 qualifying running backs since 2014, he had the 22nd best season in yards after contact per attempt. In 2021, he was amazing at making guys miss tackles. Among 779 qualifying running backs since 2014, he had the 20th best season in forced missed tackles per attempt. I think he translates to a very good early down back. He can be a reliable receiver out of the backfield. He might not be a playmaker there. He has some pass blocking ability as well. So you think of a guy like David Montgomery, who's good enough for a team to trust him with those dump offs, with those screens. But I do think he has a little bit of a higher ceiling than David Montgomery does. Now, this one might surprise some people, and for some, they know what's up. Kendra Miller is my number 4 ranked running back in this class. For me, he's up there with Charbonnet in the run game. The reason why Charbonnet is at number 3 and Miller is at number 4 is because Charbonnet was trusted in the receiving game in college. Miller was not. Now, Miller did show a little bit of efficiency this past season in the receiving game, but it wasn't enough volume for me to really credit him for that. Now, he is rehabbing a MCL injury, so that's why he didn't participate at the combine. He won't be running at his pro day either, but I don't think that's going to prevent NFL teams from grabbing him on day 2 of the NFL draft. He has good size at 5'11", 215. His contact balance is one of the best in this class. He has good vision. He makes guys miss, and he's a playmaker. And the numbers back it up too. I mentioned Bijon Robinson as being number 1 in yards after contact among all Power 5 running backs with 200 or more carries. Well, Kendra Miller was number 2. In 2021, he had less than 100 carries, but he was still number 1 in yards after contact per attempt among all qualifying running backs. Missed tackles forced as well. He was 5th among 32 Power 5 running backs last year with 200 more carries. In 2021, among qualifying running backs, he was only 2nd to Bijon Robinson. Now, I've heard concerns about his long speed and his explosiveness, but he rips off chunk gains with ease. Past season, he broke a 15-yard run or more on 45% of his carries. That was 6th among all FBS running backs with 200 or more carries. Kendra Miller kind of reminds me of a bigger Kareem Hunt. I'm hoping that he could be a day 2 pick. All right, coming in at number 5 is Tank Bigsby. Now, I do have an honorable mention coming up after this one, and it was kind of close between these two guys. Now, Tank is another very good early down back. He's a no-nonsense type of back, subtle moves. He knows how to make guys miss. He's good at diagnosing the hole. He hits the hole fast, and he doesn't go down easy. He had a very productive college career. He went over 800 rushing yards each of his 3 years. I'd say he had a down year in 2021. He wasn't efficient at all. He was fumbling a lot, and that was the year where he had the most volume, so something to consider there. But he was extremely efficient in his freshman year and his junior year last year in 2022. Now, among all Power 5 running backs with at least 150 carries this past season, he was 5th in yards after contact per attempt. That was good for 25th best since 2014, and that's out of 300 qualifying running backs. He was making guys miss too. He was 9th in forced missed tackles per attempt among all qualifying FBS running backs, and that was good for 10th best among qualifying Power 5 running backs since 2014. Now, Tank was used in the receiving game. He wasn't too efficient, so I don't think that's going to be something the NFL teams are going to be utilizing at the next level. But he can turn out to be one of the better early down running backs in this draft class. Let's hope that he can get that day 2 draft capital for him to succeed. All right, I have an honorable mention. That's Dwayne McBride. To me, McBride is the best running back in this draft class who did not play in a Power 5 conference. His contact balance is one of the best in this draft class. It's really hard to bring this guy down. 5'11", 215. He's not a fast running back, but he will rip off chunk gains. Among all FCS running backs with 200 or more carries this past season, he had the highest rate of 15 or more yard carries. Now, among all the running backs in the group of 5 conferences, he was 1st in yards after contact in 2021 and in 2022. And the fact that he was able to maintain that efficiency with volume, 233 carries in 2022, that's what you want to see. And then he's making guys miss on top of that. 4th among 36 FBS running backs in forced missed tackles per attempt last year, and 1st in that same category in 2021. This dude can play. And when I'm evaluating guys who didn't play in the Power 5 conference, you better come with it and you better stand out amongst your peers. And I think he did that. He probably won't be involved too much in the receiving game. He had 5 catches total in his college career, but you never know. This dude can turn out to be one of the best runners in this draft class. His level of competition is obviously a concern, but he's going to have a chance to prove the doubters wrong pretty soon.